Hi! Okay, so today, it's the day after Christmas, and it's like 80 something degrees, but the wind is blowing. So, yeah. So, I want to do my top book boyfriends of the year. There's so many, but I narrowed it down to 20, which is kind of hard because there's a lot of guys that melted me this year. So, yeah, let's begin. Oh, I don't have the books with me, obviously, because I'm at the park. So, I'll just put up a picture of the book, you know, so that you guys can see who and what book I'm talking about. Okay, so let's start. So this is in no particular order, only because how do you put them in order? Like, seriously, like, they're all amazing. That's obviously why I chose them to be on the list. So let's start. The first one that I put was Remy. And he is from Real, Mine, and Remy by Katy Evans. And I really don't want to sit here and give a synopsis of the book and why. And you just know that he's very charismatic. And he didn't even have to talk a lot, and he had my full interest. He's just... yeah. The next one that I chose is Travis Maddox, because how can you not put Travis Maddox on your list? He is in Walking Disaster and A Beautiful Wedding by Jamie McGuire. Another book that he just has a way with words, and the way that he loves Abby is just amazing. So that's why I chose Travis. The next one that I chose, and the reason that I chose this guy is because I swear to God, like, after I read this book, it's like this is now the norm thing to do. So I chose the OG Panty Ripper. That's what I choose to call him. And that is Bennett Ryan from Christina Lauren's Beautiful Bastard. Again, he's the OG Panty Ripper. Like, I swear, after this book, every book that I've read since then has these guys ripping off panties. And I'm like, okay. But I loved him so much. The next guy that I chose is Adrian, and I don't know how to say his last name. Ivaskov? Whatever. From The Golden Lily by Richelle Mead. If you haven't read the Bloodline series, or even Vampire Academy, you don't know what you're missing out on. I love Adrian. He's a little bit snarky, but that's okay. So now I chose... This is a 2-for-1 deal because it's like in a series, and whatever, it's my list, so I can do however I want it, right? I can make it however I want. So I chose Jase and Jaxon Riley, plus they're twins and they're identical. So that makes it automatically 2-for-1. You get 2-for-1, people, 2-for-1. And then the next guy that I put on my list is Riff by Michele Valentine's Rock My World and Rock My Bed. This is the Black Falcon series. Rock stars. That's all I need to say. They're amazing. Riff and his Oreos. Yes, please. Come to my bed and we will eat Oreos. That's all I gotta say about that. The next guy that I chose is Mason Templeton from Erin Noelle's Ambrosia. And, well, the first book is Metamorphosis, and Ambrosia, it is called the Book Boyfriend series. Then there it is right there. There are 2 guys in that book, but I leaned more towards Mason because he's a rock star. I just have this thing about rock stars and motorcycles and stuff. I don't know. The next guy that I chose is Ben. Actually, I guess it's 2 guys because I can't decide which one I would choose out of this book because they're both pretty amazing in their own right. Which is Ben and Arsen from the book Arsen by Mia Asher. That love story was crazy. and just totally worth it. So next guy that I chose is Carter Reed, by, I don't know how to say her name. Is it Tijan? Okay, well, Carter Reed is amazing, and that's the name of the book. It's called Carter Reed. But I loved it. I loved him, so he made it onto my list. The next guy that I chose is Ethan Blackstone from the Blackstone Affair, Naked, All In, Eyes Wide Open by Raine Miller. And the reason that I chose Ethan is because he's just so debonair and exquisite, the way he speaks and just commands attention. So he commanded mine while I was reading it, so that's why I chose him. The next guy that I chose on my list is Drake, from Torn and Twisted by K.A. Robinson. Again, another rocker. You're gonna find that a lot of these guys on my list are rockers. What can I say? I like rockers. The next guy that I chose is Kayden, from The Redemption of Callie and Kayden by Jessica Sorenson. If you have not read anything by Jessica Sorenson, I highly recommend her. She is amazing, amazing author. Every book that she has put out, I have totally and completely fell in love with. But Kayden, oh, he's a complicated mess. The next guy that I chose is Tate Connors, and he is in the Breathless and Just Breathe books by Rachel Brookes, an Australian author. She debuted her first novel with Just Breathe. And yes, I'm, Tate Connors has an effect on me. It is very true. And again, just commands attention and sweet, loyal, So the next guy that I chose is Harrison from My Unexpected Forever by Heidi McLaughlin. Actually, all the guys in every single one of her books I would actually put on this list. There's 3 books in the Beaumont series. I think there's like a novella as well. But Harrison, Liam, and Jimmy, all 3, they each have their own book. So I would put all 3 of them on here because they are amazing. So the next guy that I chose is Gabe Garcia from Unbreakable by Rebecca Shea. If you have not read this book, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Sweetest author that I have ever met. I absolutely adore her. The next guy that I chose is Adam from the Shattered Heart series. But he's in Relentless. That was the book that I read by Cassia Leo. The way that he loves the protagonist in that book, I just absolutely adore him. So that's why I chose him over the other guy. And I'm sorry, I forgot his name, because he just, I don't know. Adam was better. For me, anyway. Not for everybody. The next 2 that I chose, and it's 2 for 1 because they're in one book, and I couldn't choose between them, so, is Javier and Camden from Shooting Scars, and that is by Karina Hale. Another great series. They're both very, 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 very different men as far as Javier's, yeah, a little bit on the bad side, where Camden is, sweeter. Javier has his moments. So I chose them both because I couldn't choose. The next guy that I put on my list is Alistair Ingram. I can't say that. I swear. I'm like horrible at this. But Alistair Ingram by Kelly Maine. It's the submission of Alistair Ingram. Yeah, Ingram. I don't know. Well, anyways, in my head it sounds so much better. I don't know why I can't say it. Okay, but anyways, so yeah, these are short stories, not very long, but it packs a punch. The next guy that I chose is Ramsey from the Avoiding series by K.A. Lind. I absolutely adore him. So, the last guy that I chose, the last guy on my list, is Damon from Wreck Me by J.L. Mack. Again, you would just have to read it to understand why I chose him. He's pretty amazing, so that's why I chose him. But that's my list for 2013 of my top 20 book boyfriends. Thanks for watching.